They say money is the root of all evil. But what if I told you that one of America's most successful religions didn't just preach about money, it mastered it? The richest religion in the United States isn't the sprawling Catholic Church or the flashy televangelists. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, better known as the Mormon Church. And what they've built isn't just a religion. It's a financial machine, one so powerful it owns more land than almost any corporation and quietly controls an investment fund worth over $100 billion. That's bigger than the GDP of entire countries. And here's the twist. Most of it grows tax-free, hidden behind the shield of faith. To understand how a church became one of the largest private landowners in the U.S., we have to go back to 1830, to a farm boy in New York named Joseph Smith. Smith wasn't just a prophet in the eyes of his followers. He was a builder of systems. He understood that belief is power, but belief tied to money is unstoppable. From the very beginning, money and faith were fused. Members were commanded to tithe 10% of their income, a rule that still stands today. But unlike many institutions, the LDS Church didn't just collect and spend. It collected, pooled, and reinvested. The early decades of Mormon history were brutal. Smith's followers believed they were building a real, physical community in America called Zion. But in Missouri, their tight-knit colonies and pooled resources were seen as a threat. The backlash was so violent that the governor issued an extermination order in 1838, ordering Mormons to be driven out or destroyed. Later, in Illinois, their booming city of Nauvoo terrified locals, leading to Joseph Smith's murder in 1844. Each expulsion carved a lesson into the Mormon psyche. Survival meant controlling their own land, their own money, their own institutions. When Brigham Young led the Great Migration west, the idea of Zion had hardened into an economic mandate. Build a self-sufficient empire in the desert, and that is exactly what they did. In Utah, the Mormons didn't just build temples. They built farms, mills, factories, and cooperative stores, creating their own internal economy. Over time, that philosophy hardened into an institution. The tithing system became a financial engine, ensuring a steady stream of income. As those funds grew, the church began to act more like a corporation. It established publishing houses, insurance companies, and media giants like Bonneville International. And perhaps most importantly, it began buying land. A lot of Italiano. Through subsidiaries, the Mormon Church now owns vast ranches, orchards, and farmland across America, making it one of the largest private landowners in the country. This isn't just about real estate. It's about power. Land means long-term wealth that doesn't disappear when markets crash. But the true scale of their fortune remained a secret until 2019, when a whistleblower named David Nielsen revealed the church's secretive investment arm, Ensign Peak Advisors. He filed a complaint to the IRS, claiming the church had quietly amassed over $100 billion, and almost none of it had gone to charity. For years, this fund had collected tithes and reinvested them in global markets. The scale was jaw-dropping, larger than the combined endowments of Harvard and Yale, all growing tax-free. The whistleblower documents showed Ensign Peak owned shares in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Every iPhone sold, every search query, indirectly contributed to the Mormon fortune. This revelation cut deep. Members had been told their tithes funded missions and charity. Instead, much of the money was being stockpiled. For critics, it confirmed the Mormon Church functioned less like a charity and more like a hedge fund with a religious wing. The church defended its practices as prudent financial planning for the future. And this wasn't just Wall Street. The church also developed a $1.5 billion luxury shopping mall in Salt Lake City, complete with Tiffany's and Nordstrom. Critics questioned why a church would build a luxury mall, while defenders pointed to urban revitalization. What emerges is a dual identity. On the outside, a church preaching modesty and service. On teen, inside a financial fortress. This raises a larger question. Should religious organizations be allowed to function like global corporations, while enjoying tax exemption? The Mormon model is different from others. It is centralized, corporate, and relentlessly disciplined. Every tithe is treated as seed capital. Every dollar compounds. And herein lies the paradox. On one hand, their discipline is a lesson in the power of pooling resources and long-term thinking. On the other, the secrecy and tax exemption create an uncomfortable reality. The church amasses billions, while ordinary citizens and businesses pay taxes. For critics, it's hypocrisy. For defenders, it's prudence. Either way, the Mormon fortune is a window into how belief, when tied to discipline and protected by law, can become one of the greatest engines of wealth in modern history. The story is not just about faith. It's about how institutions outlast individuals, how rules are written to protect the powerful, and how fortunes are built in ways ordinary people never see. The LDS Church didn't conquer nations with swords. It conquered finance with patience, and the lesson is clear. If you don't understand how the system works, you are not part of it. You are being worked by it. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers. I'll show you where to look.